Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 by the end of 2021. It's just a fact. Everybody knows it. Look, in this video, I'm going to lay out the reasons why I believe that Bitcoin is going to have just an incredible year in 2021 and why you may want to consider getting as much Bitcoin as you can while it's still at human affordable prices. Actually, it's pretty expensive these days, but it's going to go to $100,000 and 25K or 24K or whatever kind of at the moment. It's going to seem cheap. My name is Lark, and this is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and all of the latest happening out here in the crazy markets. By the way, if you are not yet a member of the weekly Wealth Mastery Investor Report, then now is a great time to join as we move into the bull run of 2021. Every week you're going to get a deep dive altcoin report. You're also going to get a trending coin report, top tier technical analysis, a DeFi tutorial, an interview with an industry leader. We're doing stock tips, token sales, airdrops, top news, and much more. All of that for less than $10 a week, making this one of the most affordable and at the same time value-packed investor reports on the market. If you want to learn more about that, then just click on the link down below in the description where you can become a member of Wealth Mastery today. Okay, so let's get into this. So it is no secret that 2020 has been just a totally crazy year for Bitcoin. But this has only been just a little nibble, a little teaser before the big show, which is going to be 2021. So get your popcorn ready, pull up a seat, get a cold drink. It's going to be crazy. Here are the reasons why I believe that Bitcoin is going to soar over $100,000 a coin at a minimum in 2021 and why you need to be stacking those sats, guys. The first reason is, of course, institutional adoption. Now, 2020, it was an incredible year for the big money crowd showing up to the party. Now, for all intents and purposes, Bitcoin is basically now being considered as an institutional asset. It has been social proofed. Bitcoin has made it, right? At least in the eyes of the big money crowd. So in 2020, we saw a record number of hedge funds, private funds, family offices, publicly traded companies, and other high net worth types piling into Bitcoin, some of them buying it by the hundreds of millions at a time. We had strong signals as well from legendary investors like Paul Tudor Jones and Stan Druckenmiller out there shilling Bitcoin for us, putting in the good work, telling the institutional crowd that Bitcoin's cool, Bitcoin's normal, it's a totally great asset to have, and you should probably get it because the big boys are all talking about it now. But for as exciting as it has been to watch these big money guys flooding into Bitcoin, here's a straight dope for you. The institutional adoption, it hasn't even truly begun yet. These are just the first movers, the really adventurous ones that are getting in now. For all the excitement and all the fuss in 2020 about institutional money entering Bitcoin, I honestly believe that this has only just begun. Just the tiniest fraction of institutional money is currently entering Bitcoin. We got a lot more to go. In the grand scheme of things, these guys that are getting in right now, they're the pioneers in terms of, the institutional crowd. You gotta think about this. There are more than 3,500 hedge funds just in the USA. Maybe a few dozen of them right now are into Bitcoin. In terms of companies, Square and MicroStrategy, they both bought Bitcoin. That was pretty cool. Both publicly traded companies. Just a couple companies though, right? Not many. There are almost 4,400 publicly traded companies in the USA. And between them, they're sitting on a mountain of almost $4 trillion in cash. Cash money. That's crazy. I predict that in 2021, we will see a massive increase in adoption by publicly traded companies getting into Bitcoin, diversifying away from cash. We'll probably see another, dozen or so companies buying Bitcoin, potentially even some of the really big companies. Dozens more hedge funds are going to get into Bitcoin. Lots more billionaires, millionaires are going to buy Bitcoin. In a way, more of the same, but at a greater scale as just more and more money starts flooding in. The second massive factor for Bitcoin, it's going to send it to the moon in 2021. Discount the retail investor. Now, for the most part, the retail investor has not been a part of the 2020 mark. Yeah, we've been there, right? But not a big part. Bitcoin went as high as it did based primarily off of big money guys buying $100 million of the Bitcoin at a time, not the regular Joe buying $100. But do not discount the regular investor. That would be a big mistake because Cash App alone has sold a few $billion worth of Bitcoin to its clients this year. But to be honest, Cash App is just a little baby. It's a small fry in comparison to the big daddy, which has just entered the game, PayPal. Now, in an incredible turn of events this year, the world's biggest online payment company decided not to go the way of Blockbuster, but instead to be an innovator and to start offering Bitcoin and some altcoins to their customers. Now, this particular service has only debuted in the USA up to this point, but it is planned that in the first half of 2021, PayPal will be offering this service to buy and sell Bitcoin to almost all of its 346 million customers globally. Don't tell me that's not a big deal, because that is a damn big deal. PayPal is still only just getting started with this service, just being started as being a Bitcoin exchange, but it will likely be one of the biggest Bitcoin service providers in terms of volume, probably by the end of 2021, certainly within the next few years. It's going to provide a massive on-ramp for just literally hundreds of millions of people to be able to buy Bitcoin. PayPal is how retail is probably going to FOMO into crypto for the simple reason that so many already have a PayPal account. It's just one click away, right? I think that the PayPal effect is going to build steadily over 2021, reaching, some pretty big highs by the end of next year. And of course, we also have loads of other banks and financial institutions starting to offer Bitcoin to their customers too. PayPal obviously is the biggest story of the year, probably. The third reason that Bitcoin will moon hard in 2021 is, of course, the macroeconomic picture. 2020 was a just truly scary and unprecedented year in terms of intervention in the global economy by central banks, from the United States to Europe to Australia, just everywhere, everyone. Billions and trillions were printed, depending on your country. Some countries printed billions, some countries printed trillions. The USA, the worst offender by far, trillions upon trillions. It's crazy. It's like a tsunami of inflation globally, right? Again, with the USA as the worst offender. And like a tsunami, the first wave may not appear to be super devastating and dramatic, but those waves, they just keep coming. They keep hitting until your wealth is all just washed out to sea. That's not cool. Legendary investor Stan Druckenmiller is saying that inflation could reach 5 to 10% over the next few years. That is incredibly dramatic. No wonder he bought Bitcoin. The other pernicious economic factor driving investors into Bitcoin is the falling rates globally. Now in the USA, the target is to keep them at or near zero, but many countries already have rates at zero or under zero. In fact, there is $17 trillion worth of government bonds currently yielding a negative yield at the moment. That's wild. And increasingly, we're seeing big banks, for example, in Europe, passing these rates on to customers, meaning that savers are being punished with banks literally taking money from your bank account. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Inflation combined with negative rates is a very, very dangerous fiscal cocktail. It's going to push more and more investors, of course, into hard assets that can't be inflated away, like Bitcoin, like gold as well, right? And the final big factor which will drive Bitcoin to or beyond $100,000 in 2021 is obviously the scarcity factor, man. The Bitcoin halving this year was a pretty gosh darn big deal. The demand currently is far outstripping the newly created supply of Bitcoin. For example, Grayscale has had so many weeks this year where just that one single entity was buying 2 or sometimes even as much as 3 times the amount of Bitcoin being produced by miners in any given week. Truly incredible amounts of Bitcoin buying. PayPal is, of course, also now buying about as much Bitcoin as is being produced on any given week to sell over to their customers. There's only 21 million. There's only 21 million, guys. Ever. Max. The FOMO to stake your claim over your piece of the Bitcoin network, it's already heating up big time. This is going to go into just absolute overdrive in 2021, especially as the price keeps rising. FOMO will rise with the price. When we start seeing the media fanning the flames even more, then even more FOMO will start happening, right? Getting just one Bitcoin, that can be life-changing. You had a long time to get it at a pretty cheap price. It's still going to go higher, but hopefully you guys got it under 20K. There is literally no reason to be bearish on Bitcoin going to 2021. Just follow the money. Billionaires, hedge funds, giant companies, all these guys buying Bitcoin. This is the year we have been waiting for. This bull run is going to be glorious. Glorious. Anyway, those are just my 2 Satoshis for the day. What is your price prediction for Bitcoin in 2021? Do you believe that it can hit $100,000, maybe $200,000? Or are you more pessimistic? Maybe you're taking a more realistic approach, right? Maybe you think we're not going to get anywhere near $100,000, maybe $50,000, maybe $40,000, something like that. Let me know down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.